Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to yet another episode of Before the Free Count. Run the thing.
Are you ready?
We are Before the Free Count. Wrestling for the fans, by the fans.
The number one podcast for the latest on Raw, SmackDown, all pay-per-views. My name's Charlie. I've been a wrestling fan since I was the age of 15. And over the last 5 years, I've gone on the most insane journey. We go through everything, analysing every moment. Welcome to Before the Free Count. So come along and let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode yet again of Before the Free Count. I am your host, as always, Mr. Charlie Crick. And of course, I will be running you through what we always do in the middle of the week. We will be running through a recap on Raw, or as we like to call it, the Raw Recap Show. Welcome everyone, hope you are well. I do apologise there was not a video on Friday. There wasn't a chance for me to make it, I do apologise. So, this week's going to be quite different as well, because it is King and Queen at the Ring, or Night of Champions, as it is known. And I'm really excited. That is Saturday, and it is Saturday afternoon. Now, my plan is to do a live on TikTok. If you are free, please remember to tune in to @CharlieCrick on TikTok, and we will be going live from there. I will immediately be recording my reactions straight afterwards, or the reactions from the live will be the video. It'll be one or the other, basically. It'll be a bit of a mix of both. But if you want to catch that, please remember to tune in on Saturday on TikTok for that, and probably Sunday or Monday for the video. But of course, that means we will not have time to do a SmackDown podcast this week, purely because of logistics and timing of everything. However, we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about Monday Night Raw, which I have just caught up on this glorious Tuesday morning in the UK. If you're based in the UK, how are you dealing with the heat? For those that are outside of England, the UK is having a mammoth heat wave at the moment, which is cooling down. There is a bit of a breeze now, which is fine. But yeah, the last 7 days has been like living on the sun. However, we are here, we are good, and we're ready to go. So let's get straight into it. Now, this week we kicked off with a great promo from Seth frickin' Rollins, and of course he was there with Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman. Why did I forget Paul Heyman's name then? They are, I also think that Bron Breakker was there as well. Of course Bron Breakker was there. I was trying to remember. Look, it was a great promo. Okay, let me just say this from the outset. The way he put himself across in this was fantastic. He was basically going along saying, you cheer for one person, then you cheer for another. You don't really know what you want. And he was, he was kind of correct. They go from singing his song to immediately singing CM Punk. Then the next minute they want Cody Rhodes. And then, he really played into the people's hands here to get them on the wrong side of him, which I don't think really worked still. I still think that this version of Seth is still not fully over as a heel with the audience. I don't know why, though, because he's doing a great job. I think when he wins the belt is when that's going to change, personally. Because once he's got the belt and he can start sabotaging matches to win and keep hold of the belt, that's when things are going to get interesting. I can see that maybe overruling until, I don't know if I want to say WrestleMania, considering that. I don't know. I really don't. But I love the promo. Absolutely loved it. And what I will say is that he did say is that whoever wins Night of Champions, it's almost funny for him because they're just all fighting for second place. Now, I really hope they're not going to do something stupid with him and make him cash in at Night of Champions, because then basically he's used the contract to win a fight to get a fight, where what he should really do, and I think we all know this, is hold back, wait till SummerSlam, maybe make it the match at SummerSlam, but personally, I don't even think he should do that. I think he should just do, the way you use Money in the Bank correctly, okay, is you wait until the World Heavyweight match is basically either over or they are both at their complete ends, and then you come running down when none of them have got anything left in them, and you easily win within about less than 30 seconds. That is how you use Money in the Bank. However, is that the way we're going to see it go? I don't know, but I did think it was quite interesting. Moving on, that promo, I nearly said that fight. Guess what I'm talking about next? That promo went straight into Bron Breakker's fight with Penta. Really enjoyed this. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was really, really good. Great. I know I say this every single time, but rope work from Penta is just one of my favourite things to see. He's just brilliant to watch. I don't get people that, I know there are a few that I don't really get it. What are you missing? What are you missing here? He's phenomenal. And so's Ray Phoenix. And when them two eventually come together again, like they were in AEW as the Lucha Brothers, and I don't think that is far away, all considering what happened with the New Day, which I'll go into in a bit. It's going to be, I could almost see them get a chance of having a run not necessarily as long, but something like the Usos. I could easily see them bring the men's tag team back into fruition like we did about a month ago, and then it's kind of all halted again. There's still a few things that are coming up. I'm not bashing the whole thing, because I loved it. That whole thing that built up to the Wyatt Six return. If you've been listening to the podcast for a while, or if you didn't listen to the podcast at that point when we were having them brilliant Friday Night SmackDowns with some of the best tag team matches I have seen in years, since probably when the Usos held the titles, go back and not only watch them, but listen to them podcasts. They were around about May, I want to say, around about May. But, it's one of those things where I'd really, really, really like to see him go for that in the future with Ray Phoenix. And I just think that it would work really well. However, we've gone off script. Going back to the match here, they work perfectly together. Bron is just incredible to watch. There's a reason why people are saying that this guy has got 10, maybe 20 plus years in this industry. If he's performing like this now, what he's going to be like in, 3-4 years time, it's going to be incredible. I can see him almost becoming a Brock Lesnar kind of guy. I genuinely do. There's certain people that do not need to speak on the mic and can just run in and destroy them. Bron Breakker is one of them. Brock Lesnar is the ultimate one of them. Mark Henry was one of them. I think if they would have given him enough backing, I personally think that what's he called? So take out, and there's also, so it should connect okay. And of course, Braun Strowman, I thought, could have been that, but I'm still so annoyed about that. Why'd you let him go? Why'd you bring him back to let him go within a year and a half? I just really, really annoyed me, that still. I really wish he was still with us. I hope and I pray that we're going to see him again. Maybe on a different promotion now, at this stage. But I hope we get to see him in some form in the future. I don't know if AEW is the best place for him. Personally, I think he'd make a great TNA guy, Braun Strowman. I just think he'd fit in really, really well over there right now. And TNA has been on fire recently. I know we mainly talk about WWE, but it's not that I don't watch AEW. It's not that I don't watch TNA. I love Progress Wrestling. Big shout out to them guys. Yeah, there you go. Shout out to Progress Wrestling. If you haven't seen them before, they're the UK-based independent wrestling company. They are fantastic. Go and see Progress Wrestling. You'll get to see the Mad Dog Mike Angus on the mic as your host, and they've had some amazing fights in the last few years. Watching this get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, go and watch them guys. They've got their own demand channel online. Go and give them guys a watch. So big shout out to Progress Wrestling. There you go. But no, the Penta match was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. But of course, he won because Seth Rollins got involved. But, you know, that's the way that I think it's going to be for quite a while here. And moving on from there, we then had a really good video interview promo from, of course, Goldberg, who was interviewed by Michael Cole. This was really good. Really, really good. I don't usually like... Right, let me rephrase that, because I know I've spoken about this before. I don't like it when there's a video on the screen and one person in the ring and something like that. That just annoys me, okay? But when it's like a trailer video and it's done properly, they can be perfect. So like what they did with the CM Punk secret or promise going into War Games, and Roman and Cody working together for War Games, and they had that thing in the stadium. They are the ones that bloody work, okay? So that's how I feel about them. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This one worked. This one was fantastic. He did confirm in this is his final match, which I am surprised by, but I still don't think it is. Here's why. He confirmed this is his last match, but the last thing Michael Cole said to him was, but what if you win the championship? Who knows? So again, he's confirmed that this is his last match, but I don't think this is going to be his last match. I'm still standing by what I said last week when he returned, that, you know, he's going to take this to SummerSlam. He may take it further. I don't think he should, but he can take this to SummerSlam. Easily take this to SummerSlam. Hey, and wouldn't it be great if that was the way that... Hey, hang on. Wouldn't that be great if that was the way that Seth Rollins won? Ooh. Is that what he does? Is that what he does? Or does he go for Cena? But if he goes for Cena, it's then a waste of Money in the Bank if we know he's not going to lose it. Or is he going to lose it? Because there's been rumours. See, it's got my mind thinking, guys. I don't know. I really don't know this time. But the one thing I'm sure of is that even though they're saying Saturday Night Main Event in 2 weeks' time is going to be his last match, I don't think it is, guys. I want to know what you think. Let me know. Moving on, we then had the women's semi-final Queen of the Ring match. This was so good. This was so good. Jade Cargill won. It was fantastic. They both came across fantastically in this match. Some of the work they did was phenomenal. My highlight has to be when Jade caught Lyra from... No, it wasn't Lyra Valkyria. What am I saying? Okay, Google. No, it doesn't work. Fuck. Hi everyone, Charlie here. Sorry to take a bit of time out in the vlog for you, but I wanted to talk about our sponsor, the amazing WrestleCrate, as you may have heard here. What is a WrestleCrate? Well, let me tell you. WrestleCrate is a monthly subscription box for people like you, you know, that love wrestling. What do you get in this box, you're probably wondering? Well, let me show you. Autographs from people like Daniel Bryan, Lita, Godfather, DDP, Kane, Sting, the Hardy Boys. Well, what else do you get? Well, maybe you'll get a cool poster like this one. Cool key rings. Even pretty cool Lucha Libre puzzles like this. Cool pins like these. And you also get awesome t-shirt just like all of these. It's the best part, because you come through us before the free count, you can get yourself a free Wrestle Crate with your first order just by going to www.wrestlecrate.co.uk and using the code BTTC, and you get a free box with your first order. How awesome does that sound? So what are you doing sticking around here? Go and get yourself one. But my highlight of the match has to be when Jade Cargill caught Roxanne Perez mid-air during her jump to take her down into Jaded to win the match. That was just, oh my God, I have never ever seen something that perfectly done before. That was just unbelievable. That is so dangerous to do, you know, like if she catches her from the wrong angle, she slips, her foot sticking out a little bit. It was just so perfectly done. Oh man. But of course, we now know who will be taking on Asuka in the Women's Queen of the Ring final at Night of Champions this Saturday. It is of course gonna be the Empress herself, Asuka. Asuka versus Jade Cargill. I love this idea because it is no one that has had an opportunity like this before. Right, fair enough, Asuka has won the championship once and is holding it. This is her second reign. However, if she becomes Queen of the Ring on top of that, if Jade wins it, it gives her her first opportunity to be a main eventer in a singles championship match, possibly at Evolution, giving her that massive boost we have wanted her to have since she came to WWE. She's been brilliant in the tag team matches. She's been fantastic in the triple threats. As I said, the one at WrestleMania this year, it stole the show. However, it is time, and because Asuka has got the belt, my prediction is we're going to see Jade Cargill go over and win this. I just think it's time. It makes sense. It all lines up perfectly. You'd have Jade win it. She becomes Queen of the Ring. She gets an opportunity to fight either of them. She goes for one of the matches, but she asked for it at Evolution, which is the next pay-per-view, and then you instantly have a 4-week build-up to that event where it could become the biggest story and headline the event, meaning she would main event the second Evolution, putting her in one of the top tier positions going forward for the rest of the year. And if she wins the belt, it has to happen. This is the time where it needs to happen. If you're gonna push Jade, if you're gonna give Jade Cargill the push, it's now. It's Jade for the win for me. Has to be. We then move on to a couple of things that happened backstage. We had Sheamus talking to Tozawa and Maxine Dupree, of course, about what happened last week when his qualifier was taking place. However, of course, who was to show up but Rusev himself, the one that has been going for Tozawa for quite a while. And Sheamus said, you know, I think you and me should get in the ring at some point. You went, you better watch out. So maybe next week, something like that, we're going to have Sheamus versus Rusev. Then went on and had a promo from Gunther, basically for the same thing that we saw Goldberg for. It was very quick, it was very brief, basically saying that he's going to destroy him, and, you know, ruin his career, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying it was a bad promo. I just feel like sometimes, like, if you're going to do this, either do it with both of them in the ring or just do one at a week at a time. I mean, technically, they could have left it after Goldberg. So I don't really know why they put this in place, because it was literally only about 2 or 3 minutes. It really was not that long. So I don't know if something happened backstage and they needed to fill time or something like that. But yeah, we had that segment. Another segment that I didn't write down but I have just remembered is, of course, we have the New Day have been told by Adam Pearce they will have a title match next week. And it's official. We don't know who it's against, or if they did say, I can't remember. Anyway, that happened. Now, moving on to, it wasn't the main event, but it's the match of the night. It has to be. It was Bayley versus Becky. Oh my God. This is like I think they said the 15th time these two have faced. No, that was the stats for the John Cena match versus CM Punk. I think it may have been the 8th time that these two have gone face to face for a title match before, which is unbelievable to actually think of, but it makes sense. When you look back and you think about how many they've had and how they both kind of started around about the same time. I think Becky was there. I don't know actually. No, I think they did start around about the same time, I have to say. Yeah. Anywho, it was fantastic. It was just so good. So, Bayley just went for it. It was fantastic. It was very, very cool to see Bayley put Becky in one of her moves, which was brilliant. Becky got her into an armbar, which he held for quite a while. Breaks it just in time. Goes to hold her down for a bit longer near the end of the match. Becky breaks out of it and throws Bayley outside the ring, throws Bayley over the table. I'm going to try and remember this in order of what happened. Bayley, she got thrown over the table. Becky came out, threw the rest of the table on top of her, threw some metal chairs on top of her. Just as she was finishing off the job to get the count out, Lyra Valkyria came out and, of course, started beating the shining out of Becky there. See, that's my way of swearing, because that way we can get around the swearing. The shining out of Becky. Bayley just gets out in time from the chairs before the count out, back in the ring, goes for it, Becky keeps on shouting at her. She's going, nah, stay concentrated on me. This is our fight. And then just as Becky gets her down with a massive kick, she goes to the top rope, and just as she goes to jump, Lyra Valkyria goes in and starts punching her. And of course, that's a disqualification. So therefore, the title stays with Becky. What did I say the last time, though, when we were talking about this? And I'm pretty convinced that this is what's going to happen now. We're going to have a triple threat. It's got to be at Evolution. You can see they're putting these things in place. So I say we're getting a triple threat for that title after Night of Champions. They might even make it a triple threat at Night of Champions, but I think Bayley's going to get involved and stop Lyra from winning now, and therefore Becky will retain, and I think it will then go to a triple threat at Evolution. That's what I think is going to happen. Great match, though. Absolutely fantastic. Chad Gable got beaten up by Penta for winding him up the wall this week. That was quite funny to see. Put him in an armbar. Lasendo, Mero, put him straight down. It was great. By the way, did anyone else notice Ludwig Kaiser in the background there? Anyone else? Anyone? Just me? No? Okay, maybe that's something to watch out for in the future. What's he doing? Anyway, moving on to the final match of the night. We had a very interesting second to last match, which was Roxanne called out Rhea Ripley. This was not a match. It was just, she had both the tag team belts, because it has now been confirmed that Liv Morgan is going to be out for the minimum of 6 to 7 months, meaning she's basically out for the rest of this year. It's done. She's not coming back. She's got the titles. They're going to have to do something about it. She needs to find a new tag partner, but now they're kicking off this thing saying it's Rhea's fault, even though she wasn't even in the match. or maybe something I've missed that's been going on for a while. Anyway, yes, there was something going on. Yeah, of course it was. Sorry, I've just remembered. Okay, so Raquel Rodriguez calls out Rhea Ripley, and basically here's what happened. They just go full out at each other. There's no ref, there's no people coming out to stop them. They basically just go all out at each other. And basically, just after she set up the table, Roxanne Perez goes for Rhea outside the ring. That then sets that up. Rhea goes to put Raquel through the table. Roxanne Perez stops her by kicking her down. Raquel Rodriguez picks her up and slams her through the table she set up. Them two walk away. So I now know that basically it's going to be them two. We now know it's going to be them two going together for the tag team titles. So she's taken Liv's place, Roxanne Perez, which I think is quite interesting. Makes sense. She's been working with the Judgment Day. Makes sense. So then it leaves Rhea on her own. So who's going to be her partner? That's my question. And I genuinely mean that. Who are you going to put her with? You know who I'd love to see her with? Alexa Bliss. It would be so cool. And they match each other's, kind of characters. Oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good. I don't want them to put her with anyone like, yeah, I'm not being horrible. Don't put her with someone like, please God, don't put her with Jade Cargill, or someone like Bayley, or Tiffany Stratton. Just don't put her with someone it doesn't fit. Okay, if they're gonna do a tag team match here, for the love of God, please make it Alexa Bliss. It would be so good. They'd be such a good tag team. It'd be so good. What would the name be? There you go. That's the question of the week. What would the name be for Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss's tag team? Let me know. Moving on to the last fight of the night. Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This could have been a main event at a pay-per-view, honestly. It was perfect. It just purely was too short for it to be that because it was on Monday Night Raw. So the thing that I really liked was they really tried to put across that this is not going to affect any of their storylines between the two of them from the offset, because you had Cody and Jey shake each other's hand after when the bell went. So they were already in the match, and before they did anything, they shook each other's hands. So let me go through it. Jey starts off really strong, gets him into a headlock. Great hold on that. Went for quite a while. Cody gets out by a rope break. Cody then goes and does a suplex from the top ring near the end of the match. Knocks them both completely out. Jey kicks out of the supercut just in time. Jey then gets a crossroads on Cody, which he just gets out of. It was so close. I genuinely thought for a second that Cody ain't going to win this. And just at that point, Cody gets another crossroad, but Jey kicks out just in time, very convincingly. Cody retains and wins to go on to face Randy at Night of Champions for the King of the Ring. I know that was a bit of a brief version of the match. It was just phenomenal. I couldn't write quick enough. Like, these are literally my notes just for that fight, okay? Just for that fight. That's my notes. And I bet you can't read that writing, because a lot of people can't. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Now, let's just before we go, go over what we know is going to go down at Night of Champions. We've got the King and Queen of the Ring. To start off with, we've got the Queen of the Ring final, which we now know is going to be Jade Cargill versus Asuka. My money is on Asuka. We then, of course, have the King of the Ring, which is going to be Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Oh, mate, we've waited so long for another version of this match. I can't remember if we've had this match actually. I believe we did when he had the title. Yeah, I think we did, and it was brilliant. This is going to be so good. So good. We've then got, of course, Roxanne Perez Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship. And of course, the main event this year, I've, seen the promo that John did, by the way, on Friday Night SmackDown. Yes, it was the Cena's version of the pipe bomb. Oh my God. Yeah, that was insane. That was incredible. Go and watch that. It was so good. I really wish I had time to do an episode on last week's SmackDown, because it was so good. I just could not do it purely because, and I'm going to admit it, I was working on Saturday. I film on Saturday the Friday night videos. They go off to my editor on Sunday and hit you guys by about Monday. I did not get home until Sunday afternoon. It was not going to happen. The video would have literally come out Thursday, and it would have been a Friday episode. So wouldn't have made sense. We try and keep these to come out around about Wednesday or Thursday. Sometimes it is a Friday, and we do apologise about that. But it's gonna be a good match. CM Punk's not gonna win. I think that's obvious. I think Cena's gonna lose it though. I think Cena could lose it potentially at SummerSlam now. And this is why I'm in an R and a bit about the whole Seth Rollins situation, because I want them to do it right. If they want to get this to work, this faction, and they want it to have a long-standing time, they need to get it over with people. And I think the best way they can do that is by letting Steph hold on to the Money in the Bank until at least SummerSlam. And I think he has got to go for Cena. I think he's got to. But again, if he won against Goldberg, it would still make sense. But I don't want him to cash in on Saturday Night Main Event. I just don't think it is worth a cash in, because it's not a proper pay-per-view. I've had this discussion with you guys many, many times. But with that said, who do you think is going to win? Are you going to tune in? Are you going to tune into the live with me on TikTok? Of course. And, of course, we will have our reactions straight after, which will probably go up pretty quickly, I'm thinking, this weekend. So, let me know. And, of course, the question of the week, which you can reply to down below, is what will be the name if Rhea Ripley and Alexa Bliss do team up to go on for that tag team match? Let me know below. Guys, thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening on Spotify and iTunes. Remember to share the video and the podcast with your friends, other wrestling friends. If you've got stuff you'd like us to talk about, please get in contact. There are many ways down below to do so. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. See ya.